Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. Today, we've got some interesting news. We only got one spoiler over the weekend, so I decided to spice it up a little bit and talk about how the current Dragons of Tarkir set is having some expected, to be honest, card movements to increase the price of certain cards, and a few other cards that are still just making waves on their way to the top and all-time highs. So, before we get started, don't forget, comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. The comments down below are going to feed that YouTube algorithm. And links in the description to eBay, TCG, Player Store, all that sweet stuff. It supports the channel and get you some sweet cards. You can also be a YouTube member for as little as $1. That also helps out and get you some decent perks. So we say. All right, so let's get into it. First, we got a couple cards to look at. We got this spoiler, which I forgot to cover. It was one of the very first ones that came out before spoiler season. Dracogenesis, 2 red, 6 colorless enchantment. Dragon spell. You can cast dragon spells without paying their mana cost. This is a good card. It's only a little cheaper than Omnipotence, which is 10. This is 8. But it does restrict you to only dragon spells. But let's be fair. That's just fine. This is going to be a huge card in Commander, and people are already stoked about it. And because of cards like this and other cards of Tarkir, we're seeing quite a few spikes. The one random card that got spoiled today, or Sunday, I'll say, is the Naga Flesh Crafter. A blue and 3 for a 0/0. You may have this creature enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. So, again, powerful rare that can come in as a copy of anything. It has Renew, though, which is a blue and 2. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put a +1/+1 counter on target non-legendary creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of that creature till end of turn. Very interesting. This will definitely be seeing some Commander play. And to be fair, it may see play in other formats too. 4 mana for basically a Phyrexian Metamorph is not terrible. Now, it is creature only, but once it gets killed and you activate the renew cost, it could get seriously wild really quick, especially with a bunch of non-legendary dragons. I'm just saying. Now, with that said, let's take a quick look at how Dragons of Tarkir is affecting the market. So, as if you can't guess, dragons are going up. Dragons like Tiamat. We see here Tiamat was floating around the $9 to $10 range. It has spiked again up to $39-ish, probably $35-ish from this market price around $27, basically doubling almost or tripling. It says 184%. The price of this card. Now, mind you, this is the Forgotten Realms card from the original set. And I chose this because it's also the cheapest one. The one on the list is actually more expensive than this by like $5. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Oh, and if you want like a watermark one or any of that special stuff, yeah. Get out the credit card and make a down payment because that's going to cost you. Other dragons that are seeing an amazing spike. Look at that. Ancient Copper Dragon from Commander Legends, Battle of Baldur's Gate. The foil is $83. Let's be honest, the normal card is $80. Foils aren't really holding that much because there's so many different foils in the set. But, point being, this is up around 10%, which, to be fair, is roughly $8 to $10. Not a whole lot, but after the dip that we had here, it was interesting to see it skyrocket back up to a new plateau. So, yeah, it's interesting to see this thing on the move, as we thought we was going to finally see it come down in price. Also, the Ancient Silver Dragon, of all things, also on the upward trend. Now, it wasn't very expensive to begin with. A good card, but didn't see a whole lot of play. I mean, 8 mana. It's cool, it draws cards, but it is one of the more expensive ones, and in blue. But this is now popping the $35 range as the steady climb began. As Dragons of Tarkir was announced, everybody's like, ooh, a dragon. As people are starting to realize that this is going to be very playable in the set because of several things that let you put dragons into play for free, like we just saw. Or other cards that the dragons put in for free or cheaply, cast them cheaper. made this all of a sudden very, very nice to have. So dragon decks everywhere rejoice. Dragons of Tarkir is gonna make your dreams come true, I guess. Also moving forward, the ancient bronze dragons seen some popularity pick up. It had a little bit of a rise earlier from around 950, 925 up to 10. And as you can see here, as Dragons of Tarkir gets closer, the price just keeps rising. There's a few dips taking it back down, but it goes right back up as soon as it dips because people are buying it up. This is 7 mana, cheaper than the other ones, but still sweet because of the +1/+1 counter on each of 2 targets. So this is insane. Again, casting dragons for free, putting them on the battlefield, cheating them in, casting them for cheap. All these cards are going to be huge players in Commander. And let's not forget, Baldur's Gate was a giant shit show, let's just be honest. And things like this, and as the set gets older, it's starting to pick up popularity, and people starting to realize that there were actually good cards in the set, just not at the time. So with this set being out of print for quite a while and nobody really buying it, we're starting to see these kind of cards really go up in value. Other cards going up is the Sentinel Worm from the same expansion. This thing has seen a heavy spike. This thing was down to like $1, and now it's going for like $5. Now, I mean, let's be fair. That is a big increase. $5, however, is not wallet breaking. However, almost $300 to $400% increase in price is pretty astounding. As this rare that at one point people thought would be good and then kind of fell off a cliff has now beginning to see popularity again because, well, cheating dragons into play will have you. And this thing also says, whenever another non-dragon, whenever a non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, you create a copy of it, except it's a token. It isn't legendary if it's a dragon is legendary. So basically having this on the field and free casting a dragon gives you 2 of them, which is just absurd. It's got Ward 2. It becomes kind of hard to kill. At 6 mana, it's got to be hard to pay an extra 2 to kill it. But at the same time, this thing can have serious repercussions if it is not dealt with when it's on the battlefield in Commander with this new set coming out. So will these prices calm down? I think the Sentinel Worm may come down a little bit, but these old ancient dragons that were hard to get to begin with, I don't see them getting any cheaper anytime soon. Now, with that said, of course, we have to address the Dragon in the room. This thing has spiked up to $69, where at one point it was down to around $30. This is the cheapest version. Again, we got about 50% increase. It was below 30, stayed there for quite a while as Dragonstorm Tarkir started getting talked about. It didn't go up a whole lot because, well, it's large and in charge. But the ability to have this as your commander and make all your dragons cost cheaper, and the ability to put dragons in for free or even at more discounted rates with many other things makes a dragon deck in a dragon expansion seem very, very sweet. And I think we're going to see the Dragon pick up a lot of popularity and become a pricey card once again. Now, all that being said, dragons aside, other cards seeing some interesting ways is the Angelic Arbiter from Jumpstart. This thing's had a significant spike since the 6th. Now coming back down again. It's really weird. This card seems to get good, and then people hate it, and then they buy it, they don't want it, they want it, they don't want it, they want it, they don't want it, they want it, they don't want it. 7 mana, 5/6. Each opponent who cast a spell this turn can't attack with creatures. Each opponent who attacked with creatures can't cast a spell. Maybe this whole dragon theme set is bringing back, we'll say, a second glance at Angels and Demons decks, as they kind of are the offsuit, or we'll say, the Angels versus Demons, and then Dragons versus Demons versus Angels, kind of 3-way, who's got the biggest, baddest dudes. Seems to still be a thing, and, well, maybe this is starting to bring a little light to Angel decks. I think we're past the Angel themes, and we don't see one coming anytime soon. So maybe people are trying to piece something together, we'll say. Now, on a more upward trend, we have the Cyberdrive Awakener. This thing has been on a tear for weeks now and still going up. This thing has now reached $20, almost. It might as well be $20 after it'll be $20 after tax. This Cyber Awakener from Commander of Neon Dynasty Kamigawa is insane. Probably got a lot of popularity from all the vehicles in Aether Drift, because it says here, other artifacts you control have flying. It has flying. When the Awakener enters a battlefield, to enter turn, each non-creature artifact you control becomes an artifact creature, base power 4/4. So now you have, for 6 mana, a whole bunch of 4/4 flyers that do things when they attack without having to crew them. Pretty sweet for Commander. And apparently some people are definitely digging it. Now, also coming in, we have Riley the Everwise. This has picked up in some popularity. It has dropped as of when I started making this video this weekend. And here's why. Notice there it says +1/+0 for each instant sorcery in your graveyard. That's not the big thing. The big thing is the second part. Whenever you discard one or more cards for the first time each turn, you draw that many cards. People are pairing this, and why it got kind of pricey. It's almost up 200. It's up a little over 250%, but it looks like 150. It's sitting around 4, pretty much doubled. Is because of this new card out of Aether Drift. This right here, Captain Howler, which says whenever you discard one or more cards, target creature gets +2/+0 in a turn. For each card discarded this way, whenever that creature deals damage to a player, draw a card. These two have a pretty decent combo going. One faithless looting, and shit gets real. So yeah, people are putting these two cards together and liking the results. So little Ikoria card is getting a little traction. Kind of always nice to visit the sets that we miss. And then, of course, we got to talk about Burgi again. Still staying very popular, especially in Commander. The price still on the rise again. It came back down a little bit after my last video. I don't know if because people actually watched the video. Doubtful. But people realized that the price was up from around 10. Put some online, and it looks like they have been soaked up as the price has now surpassed the previous price. Meaning all the extra ones are probably now out of the market, and we're going to start seeing this price stabilize around $18 to $20 unless more to come to market, and that's not happening until someone starts opening some Kaldheim. And that sure as hell ain't happening because that's an old set. So, yeah, very interesting. So, there you have it, guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. Stay tuned for tomorrow night when we go through the card spoilers once again for Dragonstorm as we finish it up next week. So shout out to Sawyer for being a loyal patron. I appreciate you, buddy. Until next time, be kind, and as always, I hope to see you across from the game table. Man, who would have thought Burgi would be a $20 card? Man, if I could go back time and just put a whole bunch of those back when they were like $1. If I could turn back. Anyway.